Alrighty, welcome to Chapter 2. In this chapter we're going to learn more about linear equations and build on the kind of topics and concepts that we covered in Chapter 1. So the first section for today is 2.1, writing equations. So if you recall back in section 1.1 we learned about writing expressions. So writing equations can be very similar. It's basically taking a sentence and changing it into an equation, or taking an equation and changing it into a sentence. The only difference between the other section is that these are equations, which means they have an equal sign with something on both sides. So, first vocabulary word is formula. So a formula is just a rule or relationship between certain quantities. So it is an equation, it's an example of an equation, but it typically has some kind of real-world meaning. So for example, v equals d over t is a mathematical equation, but it's also a formula because it tells you that velocity equals distance divided by time. So a formula is kind of a special type of equation. And a lot of times we'll be dealing with writing formulas because you'll have some kind of real-world problem and you need to come up with a formula or equation to represent that. So let's look at some examples. This is really all there is in this section. Writing equations or formulas from sentences. So 3 more than twice a number is 20. So the first thing I want to point out is the keyword is. The keyword is means equal. So wherever the is in your sentence is where you write your equal sign. Everything over here is going to be one side, and everything over here is going to be the other side. So is 20 means equals 20. That's very, very easy. Now let's look at the left-hand side. 3 more than twice a number. So twice a number would be like 2 times the number, 2x, and then 3 more than that would be plus 3. So twice a number plus 3, or 3 more than twice a number equals 20, is 20. This is the equation which is represented by this sentence. Okay, let's do one more. Examples, writing sentences from equations. So now we have the opposite. So we've got 4 times this quantity, x minus 3, equals or is 10. So we should start inside the parentheses and say 3 less than a number. That means you take the number and you subtract 3, right? So 3 less than a number, comma, multiplied by 4. We're really just following PEMDAS here. Multiplied by 4, right? That means this thing times 4 is 10. So we say is the equal sign, 10. And that's all there is to it. I'm not going to do more examples here in the video. Just a quick kind of recap or refresher, reminder of this concept that you've learned in the previous section, but now we have 2 sides instead of 1. So that's it. And go ahead and move on to video 2.